Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. I hope everyone is doing okay. So today I'm gonna do what would happen if you put if you purchased 100 shares of Roundhill's XDTE and then reinvested the dividends. The reason why I did like only 100 shares just because it's probably a little bit more friendlier and easier to understand for maybe like younger or newer investors into this particular ETF and the high yield space in general. So what you're looking at is I took Yahoo Finance, like the XDTE data, up until like the close of business of September 16th, and then I started from like March 7th and plot and took like the average of like the prices, and then I did a lookup into like the distributions, so this way you can see it kind of like side by side. So if I scroll down a little bit, you'll see like the distributions on like particular date, and then what I did was I assumed like a reinvestment on like the next business day. So for example, if I scroll all the way down to September 16th, so you'll notice like the payout was on September 13th. The reason why I did like the reinvestment on September 16th is because like not every body's broker does like their dividend reinvestment. Well, some might not even have a dividend reinvestment option, although that's kind of bizarre. Like, in this day and age they should, but just in case you have an old-timey broker, and they won't do it, or you like doing it manually yourself, or maybe there's a delay, or for whatever reason, I think this would be like the best way to kind of maybe be fair to like the general audience. So for example, you get paid out like $33.50, because that's on 100 shares, and that you're able to buy like 0.65 shares. So this is like for like the cells that I highlighted. So you're able to buy 0.65 shares, and that's assuming like you bought it like for example column I is like on the open, and like you reinvested on the high. Column K is reinvested on the low, and column L is if you reinvest on the close, and then column M. So let me start moving this over so people can see that you can reinvest like on average you'll be able to get like 0.65 shares. And then these guys, the next set of columns, the ones in yellow, these are the ones, this is basically like the cumulative total of the number of new shares that you're able to get. So for example, you started with 100, you should have about like 112 shares, depending on like when you bought. So some have a little bit more than others, but this is basically what you get. And then like the green columns over here, so let me scroll over, that's like the number of that's like the amount of like dividends that you got for that particular week. So about $37.50, depending on what you bought. Like again, if you bought it like near the highs, then unfortunately you get like 1 penny less. And the reason like some people might not think it's a big deal, but I think it is, especially not everybody's gonna start with just 100 shares. I think some people will do like 1,000, 10,000, etc. So especially when you have a bigger account, you want to kind of watch your costs. But anyway, enough preaching. So let's get to the good stuff. So let me scooch this over a little bit more. So in terms of price return, it's not too bad. It's like you're let's say you bought like on March 7th, you lost about 1.5%, and some of this might not be like due to the market. Like it's a combination of like in some recent videos, like I made some like Roundhill Barbarians, just kind of like just to kind of be kind of playful, that there's going to be like some tourist erosion here and there. So depending on the day, some days might be bad, some days might be okay. So at one point, the tourist erosion was depending on the fund. So for XDTE, it's around like 6%, and then like the rally recently brought it back up a little bit. I haven't done the tourist erosion update on for September 16th yet, but I'm assuming it's like okay, so not too bad. And then the distribution return is 15.46, very respectable, especially for 3 months. So that's on track for like 30%. So if I just just add these two up, is about 14%. So well, hopefully, this trend can continue so that XDTE can get like a 28% total return. Just to be conservative, I will probably knock that down to like 25% or a little bit less, depending on how conservative you want to be in terms of like your planning for, especially if your retirement and you need this for living expenses. And then again, as I mentioned earlier, just assume the 100 shares. So if you just happen to buy at the open, the high, the low, close, the average, etc. This is like the amount of money that you've gotten in terms of I guess like distributions. So for example, if you bought at the open, you should have like $600.07. You bought at the high, you have $659.94. If you bought at the low, $660.23, and so on and so forth. So on average, most people got $668.08. And then this down here, this is like the total amount that was invested. So anywhere between $4,602 and $4,644. So again, just like the total return, like around like the 14% ish. So that's again very respectable, and like minimal. I guess like no matter what kind of erosion that you want to talk about, whether it's NAV or tourist erosion, whatever. This is so far, it's a very respectable fund. I think most people will like it. Just judging by like other YouTubers, it's getting more popular. But again, please pace yourselves. There's no need to rush. You want to kind of make sure they can handle like the new influx of money. So you don't want like the money to be crowded in any one strike. So thank you for watching. I hope people have been making good money, especially with this and other Roundhill products. And I'll see you in the next video. Bye now.